Hello and welcome to State of Security for November 2015. Happy Thanksgiving coming up around the corner. Last month we talked about hospitality industry, specifically focusing on resorts and hotels and the like and some of the risks. This month we're going to focus on local, state government entities, things that they could be doing, some of the challenges and things that we see for 2016. So when you look at, obviously state and local governments, kind of filters from federal to state to local. And if you think about it like this, pretty much how the budgets go as well. A lot in federal, state gets a little bit, and then local gets even less. One of the things that we've seen a big trend in is looking at state and local government agencies is to do an IT transformation. And so what you're really looking at is, are there efficient ways to transfer over certain aspects that are typically managed by these entities? By doing that and transferring over, let's just say that we're hosting a portal on site and we have to obviously secure it, update it, manage it, etc. Can we host that in the cloud? And by transferring that asset out, in essence, you're reducing the scope of internal work that needs to be done. You're also, by nature, segmenting the data because you're putting it into a different service provider. By doing that, you're allowing the organization to segment critical data items, reduce the overhead costs to support stuff that we can't transfer over, which if you're doing water or you're managing other utilities, those are the areas then we could focus and apply more resources and obviously reduce cyber risk moving forward. So IT transformation is actually we've done a few recently here at Secure State, and similarly to doing a security transformation, what you're really doing is looking at your entire IT environment and your landscape. From a governance perspective, you're trying to figure out exactly who supports what. Is it decentralized, centralized? These siloed business units, especially for state and local, that becomes a big daunting task. Going in, assessing each area, determining common practices and areas that we can outsource. So could we take and transfer all of our email services to provider? In essence, everyone uses the same provider. We can apply security controls to that. In addition to, we in essence then start to pick up operational efficiencies throughout the process. So the IT transformation is a really good project, especially for government, state and local, due to the fact that you can really look at your budgets. There's a lot of grants that are out there for moving to the cloud that the federal government's put in place. In addition to, as you start looking at the pillars of operational efficiency, you also have disaster recovery, which is a big one. And then another pillar, which is a very small pillar in the grand scheme of IT transformation, is also security. So again, kind of restating, budgets kind of move from federal to state to local having the least amount. In some regards, the most or the same amount of information as well as availability to the residents and to businesses in that community. So one of the challenges you have to look at is how much budget do we have in resources and what kind of risk are we actually holding. So you can obviously do a risk assessment, which is going to come out and give you the risks in a quantified fashion so you can start to sort those, figure out which ones you want to transfer, which ones you want to mitigate, and obviously, unfortunately, accept at some point. But when you look at this, at the end of the day, it's going to be segmentation. I mean, a lot of what we're seeing in state and local is that just don't have any segmentation. It's all flat, very siloed businesses that are tied into this. In many instances, they've opened that up to the public, where they're actually on, in some regards, the same segment, if you will, as critical data that's being supported. So as we mentioned before, if you did IT transformation, you'll pick up segmentation by default. But don't be surprised, and probably in most instances, I probably wouldn't waste the money on doing a risk assessment, because you're going to find most of the stuff that's commonly out there that's already been noted as vulnerabilities as well as risks are probably prevalent in your area as well. So instead of doing that, really focus on looking at the operations from an IT perspective, and that will in essence bake in your operational efficiency, your DR, as well as your security. So this has been the State of Security for November 2015. Look forward to next month, and again, happy Thanksgiving. God bless.